Okay, guys, we're here with another episode. This one's going to be a fun one, to say the least. Our good friend Kenzie, now Kenzie Crit, right? I was about to tell you. Kenzie Wilkinson.
It's kind of hard to pronounce, so I don't love the last name. I'll
Okay.
spell it, and then I want you guys to say how you think you would pronounce it.
Okay, spell it.
So it's Crittenden. How would you pronounce that?
Crittenden.
Yeah.
Crittenden?
Crittenden. So that's how I pronounced it for forever. I'm like, it's Crittenden, because there's the T's there.
Right.
But Nate and his family's like, no, it's Crittenden. And I'm like,
Crittenden.
that's how you'd say it with like a really bad Utah accent, which we all probably have a little bit of. So
Yes.
they all say it's Crittenden. You don't really pronounce the T's, but
Where is that name from?
I have no idea.
North Iraq or something?
Yeah, probably something
That's
like
a good
that.
name. I like it, though.
Yeah, no, so it's good. I shorten it to Crit.
That's what, because I saw it on
That's
Instagram.
I always thought.
So I always thought it was
Kenzie
Crit.
Crit. Yeah, so the full name's Crittenden. I just think it's long and...
It is kind of long.
It's a long name.
So your family thinks you're saying it, or your in-laws think you're saying it wrong?
Yeah, they gave me a lot of crap for a long time because I was like, it's Crittenden, like Crittenden.
Right.
And they're like, no, it's Crittenden. I'm like, you're not like pronouncing the T's.
So they had to coach you a little bit?
Yeah, they had to coach me through it. It's okay now. And now I pronounce it how they say is right, but I'll still always think it's Crittenden.
Was that like a red flag when you were dating him? Were you like, I don't know if I could take this last name on?
This is a long
And honestly, his first name, I don't...
You don't like the word, the first name,
I'm fine
Nate?
with Nate. Like, there was someone I knew with I'm not even to say their real name, but it was like one of the...
Okay.
You know, it wasn't Nathan, it was another name that was similar and just kind of had a bad, connotation type thing.
Okay.
So at first when I was like, oh, what's your name? When I first met him, his jaw was wired shut. So we talked like this when I first met him. And he was like, Nate. And I'm like, what? And I figured out it was Nate. And I was like, oh.
You're like, can you open your mouth
I
and
was like, that's fine.
speak?
I'm like, do I want to date someone named Nate? I don't know. So, but yeah, no. So name's fine now. His name's Nate. Crittenden's.
So it's grown. Has it grown on you?
It's grown on.
Do you ever miss Wilkinson?
I still was thinking when I was thinking about this podcast, I'm like, they're probably gonna be like, oh, you got Kenzie Wilkinson here or whatever, and I still kind of think of as that a little bit, but I didn't want to put it as my middle name or anything. I actually gave myself a middle name. I wasn't born with one.
Are you
but when
serious?
I changed to Crittenden, I gave myself a middle name. I just kind of dropped Wilkinson. So
Wait, what's the middle name you gave yourself?
It's Grace. So my dad would call me Kenzie Grace, even though that wasn't he called it just once or twice.
But I mean, if your dad's calling you it, I feel like it's somewhat official.
Yeah,
I mean, he gave you the name
I always
Kenzie.
wanted one, so I just kind of added it in. So now it's Kenzie Grace.
So is your family not a middle name family?
2 of my sisters have one, 2 of us don't.
Okay.
So
did you feel left out all the time?
I did. Me and my middle, it's the 2 middles. They don't have a middle name.
Oh, that just builds to the thing of the middle child. That's
so I told them that I was going to do it when I changed it. I'm like, you guys don't care, right? And they were like, no. So,
right, so it's legally you have a middle name?
So it's legally Kenzie Grace.
Holy
Crittenden.
cow, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I changed it when I got married. But yeah,
that's
fun fact about me.
What middle name would you give yourself?
Yeah.
If you could give you one.
Me?
Yeah.
I like my middle name.
Oh.
I just keep it.
Cyrus, right?
Cyrus, yeah. I like my middle name. Would you change yours?
No, mine's alright.
Mace?
Yeah.
Mace?
Those are both good.
Yeah, I feel like they're both good.
It's not like Anne or Lee, the typical.
Right,
Those are my
yes,
sisters'
yes.
middle names. I'm like, it's kind of typical, so those are good.
I was forced to change it. I think I'd want my middle name to be either Bud. I think that'd be sweet. Or Terrence, because that's my dad. So Terrence, my dad's name is Terrence, and then my dad's grandpa's name is actually Bud.
Oh,
Where this sign, Bud, his name was Bud Markey.
I love that.
On the sign, and everyone just called him Bud, so I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think Bud is kind of just people call you Bud.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
I don't like when people call me Bud, though. It kind of feels
But if
like
it was
you're,
your name,
little guy or something,
yeah.
what's up, buddy? And I'm like, dude, I'm not your buddy.
No, I've got a story about that.
Let's hear
My
it.
sister at the time was dating this guy that I just did not like, and he was the same age as Nate, or I don't think he was older, but the first time he met, he was like, hey, bud, to Nate, and Nate was like, no. Just a red flag. If you call someone, your age or older, bud, it feels like you're being, talked down to. So that's just a red flag for us.
Yeah, I think that is a red flag. But I will say, have you guys ever read that book, Bud Not Buddy?
Oh, that's familiar.
It's of a black kid, I think.
I'm not a big reader.
I read this. I had been in 5th grade, but yeah, I don't remember what it's about. I just remember it's a black kid. But it's called Bud Not Buddy, and people would call him Buddy, and he'd get pissed. Dude, my name's not Buddy. It's Bud, brother.
Bud.
I know, some guy said that to me at the gym. They're like, oh, you need a spot, buddy? And he was my age.
Yeah,
I was freak you, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that's annoying. That's annoying. Can I ask you a serious question?
Yes.
Okay. If you've seen all the podcasts, and you claim you have,
I have.
I'm sure you're well aware of our hatred towards black wife beater.
I'm so glad you brought this up. I have to add on to this. This was like the one thing where I was like, if they don't bring it up, I will. So, you've talked about the wife beaters and the pearl necklaces.
Yes.
But, and maybe this is just like a Salt Lake gym thing, you have not talked about the wife beaters with the plaid pajama pants.
I've seen here and far.
Do you have that? Because
we
all the
have
like
a group.
kids,
You know the group I'm talking about.
all the kids at the Salt Lake gym, maybe they're like the high school kids or young or whatever, they all wear the wife beaters and that's enough to piss me off, but then they wear it with plaid pajama pants to the gym. I'm like,
why? Why? Seriously, can
like,
someone
why?
answer why?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Is it like, I would hate to work out, first of all, I would hate to work out in pajamas.
I'm like, ugh.
Would hate to go out in
They're
pajamas.
hot.
They're hot. Not in like a sexy way either.
No,
It's
not
just
in a sexy way.
It's definitely a temperature thing.
Temperature.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
get
and
it.
I'm like very specific about like the clothes you sleep in and then ones that you're like wearing out in
Right.
public. Like if they like go home and then like go to sleep after they've been like wearing
Right.
those out and like just weird. So
It is weird.
it looks weird. I hate it.
Well, and it's just like, I feel like I was always raised like, you don't go out in pajamas.
Yeah, no.
Like, you go out in like good, proper
In
clothing
clothes,
and
yeah.
clothes, and you can stay home in pajamas
Yeah.
if you want, but you never leave the house in pajamas, let alone go to a
Yep.
gym and be a douchebag.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm against the wife beaters. I'm against the pearl necklaces. I don't know. I don't get it.
We had a group of kids, like the same group of kids,
Yeah.
that they show up in the pajama pants every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
But one time they showed up wearing onesies. Like I think it was,
Yeah,
I don't even know what it was.
Oh, like
That's-
zip up onesie
yeah,
pajamas.
zip up onesies with hood on. I think one was like Winnie the Pooh.
They were using like
I think
a
I'm
pump cover.
Like it's not even like funny to me. It's just as
Yeah.
like
It's
it's
like,
like
whoa.
ooh.
And
Like,
they
it's
look
like you
they look
cringe.
nasty too. Like they look like they haven't been washed in like
That's-
2.5 years.
Like no one wants to see that.
I'm like,
No,
I don't want to use that bench after
Yeah.
you, man.
So here's the thing, like I love seeing all sorts of kinds of people at the gym
Yeah.
because I feel like it's like in a way, I don't mean this sacrilegiously, but the gym's kind of is really like a church. It's like it brings a lot of different kinds of people that kind of have a similar ideas, similar purposes, right?
They're all just trying to better
They're
themselves.
just all trying to better
Exactly.
themselves, but there's something like just don't wear pajama
Yeah,
pants.
just,
Like-
it's simple. Like it should just be a rule. Like
Or no bare feet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see a guy wearing bare feet.
I
in the
heard you
mornings.
did. You talked
Yeah.
about that. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, gross.
Like I'm okay with it. Like there's some guys that'll lift like prefer bare feet. Like
but keep
Oh
your
yeah,
socks on.
I
at
will.
least.
I will
Keep
say
your
I
socks
do
on.
take my shoes off for certain lifts, but I don't like walk
Right.
around with just
No,
my
see,
socks
that's-
on. I'll do it for the lift and then I'll put them back on.
but it's
'cause-
like you see it's with
yeah,
these
I
guys.
keep socks on.
Yeah.
They keep sock. I agree with socks.
Yeah.
There's these guys with these big old toenails and
Oh.
just like hairy toes.
Yeah, no.
Like
That's
dude, like
gross.
there's this guy that comes to the gym, and I hate to be talking bad about
Yeah.
people at the gym because
I'm like,
I
yeah,
don't
'cause
like
we love them, but
And I actually like this guy. I've
Yeah.
talked to him a few times. He used to come a lot more. You probably know him. He's actually a really nice guy. But he wears he's the hairiest man alive. One of the hairiest, probably. But he wears really short shorts. Never wears shoes.
Yeah, I know.
Long hair and a beard. Do you know? And he
Yeah.
wears a tank top.
The white wife beater all the time.
He, I think, usually does wear a life like he's a nice
Yeah.
guy, but
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like
not a look.
it's not a look, dude.
He wears like girls running shorts.
Yeah,
they
like
look
those, like like the 1980s.
Like I'm okay with like the shorter shorts.
Yeah, of course,
but
you
I'm
don't wanna
not
be a dad
with,
shorts.
Yeah, I'm not okay with like that's also like I don't really want to see that.
Right.
Personally, but
Right. So that's like the thing. Like I think, man, I gotta get some shorts because I only wear sweats to the gym, and I only
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some shorts for the
shorts
summer.
are good. Oh, I do
too.
have a question then about
Okay.
that. So there's this guy at our gym, and me and Nate had a little debate about this. So I'm curious what you guys think.
Okay.
There's this guy at our gym, and he wears like I guess the best way to describe it. I think he's like Russian or something. And he's like
Oh.
clearly not from the U.S.
Okay.
He wears like a completely white, like almost wrestling singlet type thing to the gym.
Oh my
Super
gosh.
fitted, super white. Like you could see everything. And like I'm the type of person where I'm like, yeah, I think it's dumb if you wear pajama pants or like that or whatever, but like I'm not really gonna pay that much attention to
Right.
it. I'm like there to focus on me. But like Nate was like, that is disgusting. That should be banned. Like no one wants to see that. He should not be allowed to try that in a public gym. Like going off. Like he was pretty upset about what this
Right.
guy was wearing. And I mean, he's a guy, so obviously he's like, don't want to like see that on display. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't either, but I just like don't pay enough attention to
Right.
it. But what is your guys' take? Is that something where you'd be
No.
like fired up and you're like, nope, he shouldn't wear that, or you're like, I don't really
I think
care.
that's gross. Like I
Yeah.
see guys running all the time by my house
Yeah.
in like girls yoga pants,
Oh,
like
yeah.
no shorts or anything, or just girls yoga pants.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, dude, put on some.
Just
put something over the
yeah,
top,
put something
man.
over.
But I feel like, yeah, I agree with you. Like I feel like, but is this guy a screamer? I feel like if he's bold enough to wear like a singlet to the gym, I feel like he screams.
You know,
way
I've
less.
only seen him like a few times. It's always when we go like really late. He's usually there. I feel like he's not a screamer.
Okay.
But you can tell like he's
intense.
Intense, yeah. He's like an intense dude.
Interesting. I think if I were to see it, okay, man, I contradict myself constantly, but it's like in general conference, I heard at least 4 times, "Don't speak evil of other people."
I know.
And so here I am, but you know, I probably would judge him.
Yeah.
I'd judge him.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
I think it's valid. I can see why. Like I said, I didn't put much thought into it, but this he was pretty discouraged about it. He was like, "This is not okay." Okay, like whatever. But yeah, it was like not pleasant to see. Yeah. So gym attire, just wear gym clothes. Don't come in your jeans. Like that's weird too. Don't come in your pajama pants. Just like you can get great stuff at DI if you need it. But
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
So,
wear gym clothes.
On this topic, do you have like a biggest gym pet peeve that people do? Or you see that just bothers you while you're there?
That's a good question because I know I have them and I get upset at people. I hate, like I said, back to kind of the high school kids, I hate when there's like a ton of kids gathered around a machine for a super long time. Like that drives me crazy when they're just like not like you should use the equipment and you should take the time you need, but to the point where it's like you're taking too long of breaks and it's inconsiderate if people are waiting. That really does bug me when people are taking forever.
Right.
I guess I do have one, and this isn't even necessarily a pet peeve because I feel like a lot of people that do this don't realize that they're doing it, but like the half reppers where they go and they're like going to do a squat and they'll like barely bend their knees, or same thing with bench, like they'll go like halfway, like half reps. I'm just like I said, most people probably don't even realize that they're doing it, but I'm like, take the weight off, like go back to form, go back to basics. It's not worth it to lift it or push it.
Right.
There's a girl there specifically that does that, and she like thinks she's so cool, and you can just tell she has like this big ego about her. But I'm like, her form is just so bad, and it's just the range of motion is not there. Right. So that's probably one that bugs me too.
I feel like that bugged me too. That's one thing when we set this podcast up. Because we saw you're posting a bunch of great gym content. Great gym content.
Appreciate it.
And we're like, me and Cooper, we were super impressed with how much weight you're lifting, but not just that. It was like we took like the bench for example. Like what were you doing? Like 145 for 3 reps.
Did Crane tell you about how that happened?
He sent me the screenshot of how you guys had both.
It was literally like within like 30 seconds.
And that's funny. I did get a good laugh out of that. I really did.
Yeah. So we saw that, but we're like, not only is she like benching that much, which is a lot, but like you're doing like great form.
Oh, thanks.
Where it's like you watch a lot of like these mostly girls that like bench and they'll do a super wide grip, they'll arch their back to the freaking sky and they go down like 2 inches. Yeah. And you're like, what is that? That's like nothing. No, and so like it was I think it was a good thing, refreshing to see a girl with a good form on the bench. It's pretty cool actually. Yeah, really.
I mean that wasn't my best. Like my hips were coming up, and I was doing my best, but
no, that's a lot of weight though. Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't start out that way. Like I've been like lifting the way that I am now. I started maybe like 2-ish years ago. Okay. And like squat was probably the thing that took me the longest to really figure out the form. And same thing like deadlift. Deadlift and bench. I feel like were two that came a little bit more naturally to me. But, like, it's been a long time in coming for my form. So, for people that are just starting out, too, I'm like, it's okay if you don't have a ton of weight. It's okay if you can't get the range of motion. But I think it's so important to work up to that range of motion. Right. So, do whatever you need to do to kind of get to that point type of thing. But, so I appreciate that. But I spend a lot of time on form, so.
That's awesome.
And I need to be better at that. Like, I don't think I have very good form with pretty much anything. My theory is just move freaking heavy weight, and then I haven't hurt myself too bad yet. So I'm like,
move the weight type of thing.
Because I was watching, you guys know who Jay Cutler is?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
He's, you know who Jay Cutler is? Yeah. He's like, he was a Mr. Olympia. Oh. Just huge. Like him and, Ronnie Coleman was another big black guy. And they were like always a big rivalry. But I was watching a video of his like 2 days ago, and he was kind of talking about like what's good and what's not. Mm-hmm. And he kind of boiled it down to like if you're feeling a good contraction in that certain area you're going for, it's probably you're doing it right. Right. So like if you're not hurting yourself and you're feeling a good contraction, you're feeling a good pump, you're probably doing it right. Right. So yeah, but with that being said, I wanted to ask you. You said you do deadlifts. Yes. And I think deadlifts is a thing in the gym world I wouldn't label it as controversial. Yeah. But a lot of people say, I'm only going to deadlift. The only reason I'll deadlift is to get a bigger deadlift, right? Yeah. So, do you agree with that, or do you think like there are a lot of benefits to deadlifting?
First off, I think deadlift is fun. Like,
Okay.
I think there's something about it that feels so badass being able to, like, pull a certain amount of weight.
Yeah.
I think especially, like, maybe not, like, as a woman, maybe a little bit more so, just because I feel like it's something not a lot of, like, girls do, and if they do, they don't do, like, just, you know, normal, like, conventional deadlift. So, I think for one, it's just fun, so I just enjoy it. And then I think, number two, I do think there is benefits depending on your fitness goals. A lot of thing that people don't talk about is kind of why they go to the gym and like what their fitness goals are. And for some people, yeah, I think it's great. For other people, I'm like, if your fitness goals, like deadlift might not match up with them, so it's like, it might not work. I think it's one of the 4, what's it called? Like compound lifts that's gonna, you know, target every, you know, majority of muscles in your body. So I think it is beneficial. I always think like, oh, when's the next time I'm going to be like on a vacation and I need to like help carry someone's luggage, or like I do travel a lot, and like when I travel alone, it's like I want to be able to like pick my luggage up and like put it in the overhead compartment, like little things like that where it's like I feel like deadlift makes me feel capable in the real world, if that makes sense. Or if I'm like, what if my little sister gets hurt and I have to carry her out of somewhere? Like, can I pick her up with good form and not hurt my back and carry her? So I mean, it's things that are probably never going to happen. But for whatever reason, I do think there is some benefits to it. And for me, I found that, like, it's made my back so much stronger, like, my legs so much stronger. And overall, it just gets your heart rate up. And like I said, it just makes you feel good when you can just, like, pull that weight and do it correctly. So, yeah, I like deadlift. Right. I will probably always deadlift as long as, like, my body allows it. I'll probably.
So is sumo cheating?
I've never sumo deadlifted in my life. I will say that. So I've never done it. I think it's just a different lift. Like, I don't think you can say, oh, I can deadlift this much. Like, I think it's you sumo deadlifted that much. I think it's a completely separate lift. I don't think you can compare them and say they're the same lift and say that you deadlift this much weight if you're just doing it on sumo because you sumo deadlifted. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm the same. I think it's cheating.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not the same.
It's like the girls I've seen. Like, they'll arch their back, put it up on bench, and, like, they literally don't even bend their elbows. They just, like, move their shoulder blades.
I'm like, really?
So it's, like, the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Do you know who C-Bum is?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Does Nate have a crush on C-Bum?
I don't know.
Or do you have a crush on C-Bum?
Yeah, I do. I for sure do.
I have a crush on C-Bum.
I'm not ashamed of it either. I absolutely have a crush on him.
Good.
Yeah, no,
Have you ever heard him speak?
Yeah.
He bags on the way he speaks, but
I don't bag on him.
You do, yeah.
I think it's. I just think it at first it was hard for me to hear, but the more I like listen to C-Bum, I love that man.
Yeah.
Have you heard about his like supplement company that he has?
No.
So he has a supplement company.
Yeah.
And he's got a lisp, right? But he embraces his lisp.
Yeah.
So like he has a supplement company, and one of the products is called Savage. But instead of like SAVAGE, it's spelt THAVAGE. So it's like Thavage. So it's like his lisp.
Yeah.
So that's his supplement company. So I think it's hilarious. I think that if he can embrace that lisp, dude, he's
absolutely.
So cool.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That comes back to the whole, you guys were talking about like the body positivity thing.
Yes.
So I agree with you on majority of it. I think you guys were kind of like trying to explain it.
No,
this is what
if you don't agree with us, freaking tell us right
there
now.
was like maybe 0.01% things you guys have said that I don't agree with. But here's the thing, my breakdown on body positivity. If it is something you cannot change about your body, like a disability or a lisp or something like that, and you are being positive about that and embracing it, I'm all for it.
Right.
But like our society has twisted body positivity and made it about like accepting and normalizing obesity and normalizing things that you can change that aren't healthy. So if you do have control over it and like you can change it and it's like affecting your health, no, like that's not something to be body positive about.
Right.
It's supposed to be about things like this lisp, you know, like he's kind of embracing it and being positive about it and turning it into like, you know, his company or his brand. That's amazing. I'm all for it. That's like a great example of being, you know, positive about something about yourself that you can't change. So that's kind of my take on it is I see a lot of people with disabilities out there or, you know, something like that where they really don't have control over it.
Right.
Or like we've got this guy at my gym that I have got so much respect for him. I don't know exactly what it is, but it affects, it's not like muscular dystrophy or like, it's something, you know, like that where he really should be stuck in a wheelchair, But this guy walks around the gym and is like lifting weights every day. I see him there. And I'm like, the fact that he has like the willpower to get out of bed and do that every day when like all science says he shouldn't be able to do it, I'm like, that is being positive
so
with your body.
He just like doesn't move correctly or something?
Yeah, he's shorter and he, like I said, I don't know exactly what it is, but like he's clearly like, his body's just a little bit, doesn't look like ours. Right. It's formed a little bit different. He's shorter and just has shorter limbs and just can't walk the way we do. But he is there every day lifting, and it's awesome. Like, so much respect for anyone like that who is trying and like putting effort in. Even in his situation, like doctors said that he can't or say that he shouldn't have control over that. He's still taking control over his body and being the most positive he can about it. So things like that. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. I agree with you. I'm on the same page. Like, I get super frustrated with. Oh,
I do too.
With a lot of things, but this is one thing that really just gets me. Like, we should work out, and I've said this before, and it's definitely a Pinterest cliche thing, but we should work out because we love our bodies,
not because we hate them.
Yes. Put that right on a clipboard or on Pinterest. But it's true. Like,
it's so important.
It's true. But like, okay, what is the reason you got into the gym?
Oh, good question. So, growing up, both my parents were always like very active. Yes. I'd say more so like, they do kind of lifting now, but they ran a lot. Mm-hmm. I hated running. I hate cardio. It's the worst. I rarely do it. But like, I think number one, like watching their example and watching how positive it made their lives and like the things they were able to do because of it, that was kind of like sparked probably my interest at a young age. And I did things like dance. I was in dance super intensely. Until about high school. Like, I thought dance was going to be my career. I put everything I had into it, and I ended up quitting dance, and I kind of tried to fill this void with, I did figure skating, I did track, I did CrossFit, I did all these different things, and nothing kind of quite worked out. So I kind of just did the gym, and more of kind of like CrossFit-esque workouts is kind of what I did for a while, until Nate was finally like, start like doing this program that I do, like just try it out and see. And at first, honestly, I hated it for like 2 months because I wasn't like sweating or like leaving the gym so exhausted the way I would with these other workouts. But a month or two in, I've got these like insane results, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? So that's when I got really into it, like did a ton of research, like learned a lot from Nate, obviously. And I think it was just the aspect of seeing the results first off, and then second, it's so addicting. I track like all my weights. I track every workout. It's like the next week being able to pull 10 more pounds than you did last week. Like, it was kind of that really rewarding feeling that I got like when I used to dance. So it's so addicting. So that's kind of how I got into it. I just have always loved like fitness. And like, I think this is like the way that I work out now, it actually works. You actually see results. Like, it actually makes you feel better and gets the results I think like a lot of men and women want. And then I guess this year, kind of just like my big goal throughout the year was to put myself out there. I have a really hard time doing that. That's why I'm here today.
Put yourself out there, like like on social media, just like primarily social media, or just like anywhere socially. Wherever.
Kind of, in multiple aspects. So this was one of the ways was like, I really want to start posting about fitness. I'm not a professional. I'm not like a certified trainer or anything, but that was one way where it's like, I feel like I have something that can help a lot of people. So I'm like, I have it. Like, I have everything I need to like put myself out there and film it and kind of see where it goes really slowly. So my goal is just 2 reels a week is what I post, and then like 2 or 3 stories a week. And then I think career-wise was also a big thing, was to put myself out there as far as there's a lot of companies that I'd love to be a part of and work for. This is actually my last week at my job right now, so I'm kind of looking for what I want to do next. So put myself out there as far as sending my resume out, calling these companies, like showing up there and like talking to them in person, like all these little things. That was a big thing for me. And then just any opportunity that like I was given, or just creating opportunities for myself like this. Like when you guys asked, I was like, ooh, like that's outside of my comfort zone. Like that kind of scares me. But I was like, this is literally an opportunity. This is my goal of the year. So doing things like this, So kind of in a lot of aspects, just putting myself out there a little more.
That's awesome.
That makes sense.
Have you ever read, my gosh, Bragg?
What?
The Alchemist.
I haven't.
Okay.
I need to. I'm not a big reader. I need to read
but you
more.
need to read this book. It will change your life because it's all about, well, first of all, it has a lot of biblical things in it, which is cool, but it's a story.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all about signs and omens and opportunities. But it's in a story. It is so cool. Okay, I'll read it. So cool. Yeah. Such a good book. It's Bracken's dad's favorite books. Oh, cool. And so when I first started dating Bracken, she's like, "Oh, you should read this book." And I read it, and I was like, "Oh, dude, changed my life." Yeah. Like, it's such a good book. Yeah. And the author is actually Brazilian. Oh, cool. And so I actually read it in his native language, which was Portuguese. Yeah. Right? So, like, oh, it's such a good book. Okay. Read it. Like, even if you don't like reading, get it on audiobook. Yeah. It's an amazing book. And it's all about that. It's like really, taking the opportunities you have, realizing that these signs and omens are like probably there's a good chance they're there for a reason, right? I'm a big believer in like I don't believe a lot in coincidence. I really don't. Yeah. But yeah, I think you should read that book. It's a good one. Okay, totally will. I have a question. Sorry, I don't mean to be taking all these questions, man. Holy crap! Yeah. So you're posting a lot about nutrition and fitness, right? Are you more passionate about one over the other, or do you feel like as a whole it kind of coincides with each other where you're just passionate about it in general? Right. I think I'm passionate about it in general, and I think people need to figure out what works for them. I figured out what works for me, and so like I said, I'm kind of hoping to share that. In neither aspect am I technically like a professional or licensed, but I think everyone really overcomplicates nutrition a lot, and so I kind of want to simplify that back down to what I think nutrition actually is and how simple it actually is, because I think there's just so many companies out there that they can't make profit off of. They can't, trademark ground beef and make profit off of meat. They can't trademark eggs and just make profit off eggs. So there's all these companies out there, and what they do is they make this special mixed drink or this, special whatever that you have to buy to be healthy. And so I think that, in my opinion, like eggs, whole milk, like red meats, like fish, rice, potatoes, like just back to the very basics of doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be time consuming, it doesn't have to be super expensive. Like it's literally the natural foods that we were given all kind of in balance. Like I'm like you, I love food and I love sweets. I could never get to the point where like I'm super probably like disciplined about the way I eat. I honestly eat whatever I want whenever I want. Like if I'm hungry and I want a McFlurry, I'm gonna go get it. That's awesome. And like I've said, I figured out a way to do that works for me, where I have like all this food freedom. So I'm not like I'm probably a little bit more passionate about the gym. I'm more disciplined when it comes to the gym than like eating. But I think they do go hand in hand, so I feel like because I'm starting to post, like, the workouts, I also want to post, like, for my goals, like, for my, all my, like, personal truths about, like, my height, my weight, everything like that. Like, this is how I eat in correspondence with the gym, because I think you can't really focus on one and not the other. I agree. Yeah.
So do you have any other like goals along with the gym or nutrition or anything? You kind of said you want to put yourself out there more. Yeah. But do you have any other goals you're working towards or want to accomplish?
Yeah, I think I've got little goals in the gym. I've got just some specific weights that I'm trying to hit in some of my lifts that I really would love to get just for fun. I've thought a little bit about like competing. I just think like financially and time-wise, I'm not in the position to do that right now. But just as far as like for like my body weight category and like the weights that I am pulling, I do feel like I have like a shot at competing in some competitions there.
So it would be like body building competitions, not really like powerlifting.
Powerlifting. I think I would do more powerlifting. I would do like deadlift and bench and maybe squat. I don't think I'd really do like bodybuilding because I think that does require a lot of self-discipline with food and like mentally, and I think mentally you can not get in a good space, and I've been in bad places mentally and had bad relationships with food before, so I think that's not something I really would want to dabble in. But yeah, I'd say maybe just I've got little target weights, and those are kind of my little goals that I'm working on. I'm doing my little posts every week just kind of to see, but I think it'd be cool too if I could like hit like 2,000 followers on Instagram would be great. And I think I'm hitting my little goals as in I got like a message today from Austin Carrick. It was one of his relatives reached out to me, and they were like, hey, like thank you for posting this, like this is the motivation I need. And then my aunt texted me one day, so I've had like little messages like with people that I just wasn't expecting, saying like, hey, thanks, this inspired me. And I'm like, really? Like it's working? So I think like that has just been huge. And then seeing people interact with like my social media, I've started to interact a lot with other people's accounts, and I've had some like amazing conversations, not just about the gym, but like about like politics and all kinds of things, like just all these relationships with people that has been like really, really beneficial. And I'm like, oh, like social media, because I kind of bag on it a lot. I was like, social media does have more good about it now that I'm starting to see than I thought. So I think building relationships with people is a big one. And just like helping people in general. So if I could reach a following of about 2,000 people, I'd feel pretty good about that.
We'll help you get there.
You know, there's no timeline to it. I'm like, maybe one day.
The like 20 people that listen to us.
I'm not, like I said, there's not a timeline to it. It's not like by a certain time. I'm just in general, I'm like, I think that'd be great. I honestly don't even know how many followers or views or anything I have. I try not to pay a ton of attention to that. And then I think I do maybe some type of like fitness giveaway, like as far as like an outfit goes or something, if I did ever hit that. So I think I have little goals like along the way. As far as like the big picture, I don't really have like a big end goal in mind, like as far as like my fitness goes. I think it's more of like I'm now at a place where it is my lifestyle and it's just going to be continuation for the rest of my life. And if it does go somewhere, great, but I don't necessarily like want to make it my career or anything. Yeah, does that answer your question?
No. Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Is there anyone in the gym that you like look up to? Not your gym, but like in the world of fitness that you look up to, where you're like, okay, like I kind of want to be like them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got a girl named Charlotte. I don't even know what her last name is. Her Instagram's like Lottie, and I think her last name starts with a C. She's from the UK, and I think I just resonate with her a lot. She struggled with an eating disorder for quite a long time, and was like super malnutritious, just very underweight. And she didn't even realize that she was there. Most people don't realize that they're kind of in that point, and the gym is kind of like what saved her and helped her to get into like a healthy place now. So she's just super dedicated. She's also a mom, which I think is awesome, and she has made like fitness a lifestyle for her too. And she's heavy lifting. She does like these fun competitions, and she doesn't do it to be the best. She doesn't do it, because she's the only one out there that knows how. She does it just because it's what works for her. She has a passion about it, and like she does it to like better other people. So I just think she's really awesome. Just like her values and everything, and why she goes to the gym, I really look up to her. And then I have other like few little like influencers that I follow that I think are cool. But
it's really cool.
That is cool.
So here's a question for you. What would you say to like girls, or I guess not just girls, but just people looking to get into the gym, but maybe they don't know what to do, or they're scared to get in there? Like, what would you say to? What would you tell those people?
Good question. I think the very first thing, we've kind of touched on this a little bit, is you've got to start with the mindset that you're doing it because you have an appreciation for not only what your body looks like, but what your body can do. I think if you start from a place of negativity, it's going to be really hard to get positive results. So step number one is just like being in acceptance of the spot you're at now, and let that also motivate you to like want to become better. And then step two, I would say, is to really, like I said, identify your fitness goals. I think it can be really confusing if you do follow a bunch of influencers or you follow anyone that posts content. If you're not the exact same height, the exact same weight, if you're not trying to lose fat, if you're not trying to, be able to get a six-packs, whatever your little goals are, if they don't specifically match up with the people you're following, then you need to be adjusting like your protein intake, the type of workouts you're doing, like reps, sets. So I think it's really important to identify like, okay, I'm going to the gym just because I want to feel better about myself and because I want to be able to squat a plate. Like, great. If those are your goals, then follow these like influencers. I think it's good to be able to like see videos of what other people are doing and then use that to like make what works for you. So I don't think there's one right or wrong way out there. I think you do need to figure out what works for you, and that will take time, that will take trial and error, but it's just figuring out why am I going, and then that way you can plan, I want my legs to be stronger, okay, then I'm gonna do squats, I'm gonna do, leg press, I'm gonna do this or whatever. So once you figure out your goals, I think it's really easy to formulate like if you want to do yoga or what you want to do from there.
I like that. I think that with that, I think that's 100% true. I think for me, what helped me get me started was I started going with Cooper to the gym when I was in high school. So with that, why I'm saying that is I think a good thing to do is have a friend that will help you, like, and also keep you accountable, and also like to learn with.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm learning in the gym, like I go to the gym every single day, like for the most part, and I work out. I I do some decent numbers and weights and stuff, but like never be afraid to ask someone questions in the gym.
Totally.
Never be afraid. Like I learned something new from a kid that goes to the gym and he's in high school, and he was doing something and I didn't. I was curious about the workout itself, so I went and asked him.
Yeah.
And I think I'll probably start incorporating into my workout now.
That's awesome.
Okay, he's like 16 years old, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But he taught me something. So I think never be afraid to learn things from people.
Right.
Even if you I think always get to the gym, ask questions, surround yourself with good friends. Like I had Cooper, and I feel like we've grown a lot of from each other. Like in the gym, we've always pushed each other. So I think it's like surrounding yourself with good people.
That's
too.
Huge.
In the gym.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I've had the opportunity to work out with a few different people and help them, and then Nate was huge in helping me figure it out. And today I had to ask for a spot, and for whatever reason it's still so hard for me, and it can be so scary, but most people out there want to help, and they're there to better themselves, and they see that you're trying to do that same thing, so it really can be intimidating.
Yeah.
So I think it's great to start small. If you don't feel comfortable going and doing free weights, the machines have the instructions on them, you can go read that. Don't be afraid to Google workouts too. They'll be somewhere and how do I do the form on this?
Right.
Am I doing this right? So I'll Google it, I'll watch a quick video. I think that no one person is going to give you that confidence and give you that self-motivation to do it. That has to come from inside, and if you have that, then you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to have everything you need to ask questions, build those connections, look up the video if you need to, everything like that. So I think that's a great reminder that you don't have to do it alone.
I like that.
Yeah.
I know I feel like this is kind of an unpopular opinion I have. I don't know if a lot of people agree with this, but I think it's the same way with kind of influencers, you see on social media or whatever. So I feel like a lot of people I hear you shouldn't compare yourselves to them. Obviously they dedicated their life to this.
Right.
It just makes you feel worse about yourself when you compare themselves to these types of people. But for me, it's almost the same as having a lifting partner, right?
Yeah.
I see these guys and I want to be as good as them.
I want to do that.
I want to be better than them, right? I want to put up more weight than them. I want to be better than them. So it kind of motivates me to do more.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not very popular. I feel like a lot of people are the opposite. They're that's out of reach. You shouldn't compare yourself.
Well, I think you're doing it in a way that's you're not comparing yourself to them because you want to be just like them. You want to, you want to be better than them, So I think it's almost good that you kind of have that healthy, oh yeah, look what they can do. I can do that too. Instead of look what she looks like, or look what she can lift. I can't do that, so I suck. I think it's all the mentality of let it be the thing to motivate you. I think it's awesome. I think if you follow someone and you look up to him a lot, then let that be your motivation and get you into the gym and outlift them. I think that's great.
So who is it that you want to be like, Cooper?
Yeah.
Or that you want to beat?
I don't know.
He's I'm that guy already.
I already beat him.
I don't C, but I don't know if I want to be as big as C-Bum.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's very athletic, move very well.
Agility.
Alex Eubank, do you know him?
I don't. I'm not.
You've probably seen him.
I probably have.
He has long blonde hair.
He's an ambassador for
Young LA.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think he's a super Christian guy. I think he's super good role model.
Super good
awesome.
guy.
Kind of promotes, follow Jesus and also go to the gym and stuff.
Really?
I kind of look at him, but he's a smaller guy, so I'm already just size wise bigger than him. So
he's just
check that off the list.
He's
he's
extremely aesthetic.
Yeah, he's 5'10",
very lean.
5'9".
Okay,
so
yeah.
Just size wise. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he's just a good guy.
Yeah,
I think
That's good.
from what I can tell. Why do you? I want to ask this both of you guys.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's so many things for example, I've talked about this on the podcast before. Christian apparel brands, right? But right. I've talked about that. Why do you think so many people that are strong gym goers have such a strong relationship with God and Jesus? Because it's true.
That's a good question.
It's true.
You go first.
Oh,
I don't have an answer to this. That's why I'm asking.
No, that's a good question.
I think, to be honest with you, this might come out kind of bad. Hopefully it doesn't.
No.
But I feel like all the people everyone that goes to the gym, they usually I feel like it translates to everything else in life. They're usually successful in their job, because they work hard. It shows that they're dedicated to something. They're willing to stick with something, go every day, even if they don't feel like going to the gym one day, they still push through. Shows they can do tough things. And I feel like a good majority of people that have those qualities, hard workers, dedicated to something, loyal to different things, they're usually believe in God or a higher power. So I feel like most people on the opposite, like, atheists, don't believe in God. This isn't speaking for everyone. Usually
blue hair.
Usually the opposite.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here.
Some liberal with blue hair that's fat and out of shape.
Yeah.
Can't hold a job. That's kind of like what I think of. So I feel like these people that go to the gym, they have all those qualities, and most of those qualities are people like Christian people, or not Christian, but just religious people that have a faith in a higher power, God. So that's what I think.
No, I totally agree with that. I don't think I have a perfect answer for it, but for me, I think that spirituality, like, you know how, like, people say, like, you can exercise your spirituality or you need to, like, work on that? I think there's so many components to health and fitness. I think there's mental, like, health. I think there's physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. I mean, you could go on and on about the categories. Those are probably, like, the top 4 to me. So I feel like people who believe in God know that they have to, like, work on their relationship with God and, like, do things to make that stronger. And so I think if you're trying to work on all aspects of your health, people who work on their, like, health and that relationship with God are going to want to do that physically with their own body as well. I think they just kind of we have, like, a greater understanding of, why we're here, which is, to become better in every aspect that we can, to learn everything that we can, to, just become kind of the best version of ourselves. So I think that understanding of, like, your purpose here on earth and, like, your purpose, like, as a human and as, like, a son or daughter of God, like, really helps to correlate with fitness in a way, because it's like you want to work on all aspects of your health and not just, like, your spiritual health, but I think also physical health. So I think just having, like, the greater understanding, I don't know if this is making sense, but kind of having that greater understanding of why we're here, I think motivates a lot of people. I think even just our church has guidelines on it, like, of being physically active and being healthy, and I think it looks different for a lot of different people, but there's got to be some correlation there, I feel like.
I thought of something else.
Yeah.
This isn't, like, majority at all, but I feel like a decent amount of people that get into the gym, they go because someone hurt them. Yeah. Or something bad happened to them in life.
It's one of the motivators.
Like, freak
They've
life.
got, like, the hoodie on.
I just got broken up with. I just lost my job.
The forbidden pre-workout.
Yeah, I'm going to go hit the gym, get jacked, like, show all these people off, or show all these people up. And I feel like those situations also lead you to God. Yeah. When, like, something bad happens to you, I feel like you either go one way, like, total anti-God, like atheist.
Like, why did he do this to me?
Yeah, or you turn to God for answers.
I agree.
So I'm kind of seeing a few different patterns here then. So it's like, one of the things that Cooper just said, you basically just said something bad happens, and so the gym is therapeutic, or God can be therapeutic, right? So that's kind of like coexist with each other. Or you can look at it, the gym is like a condensed version of life and why we're here. Yeah. Like, we want to better ourselves, so we go to the gym, right? We want to better ourselves, so we understand our relationship with God. So that's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. I've never actually really thought about that, but I think there is definitely a correlation there. I think a lot of people that do go to the gym have some sort of belief in God. So I'll think about that more, though.
There's some pondering to be done there.
Yeah.
So have you seen these gym girls that put their phone up to record and, like, catch these guys looking at them, or not even really look at them, but just maybe glance that way?
I've seen those, like, they'll put it in the back of their, like, leggings or something and, like, walk around, like, staring. Yeah, I've seen that.
And they're like, they're freaking. Then you got, like, a bunch of guys making, like, anti those videos. Yeah. They're like, freak all these girls doing that.
I haven't seen a ton on that, but I've seen a little bit.
What's your thoughts on that?
Good question.
That is a good question. What is my thought on, like, girls doing that?
Because I feel like a lot, like, most of these girls are just doing it. They're kind of like fishing,
Yeah, because they're like, how dare he do this? Like, that type of thing. Like, they get that response from it. And a lot of videos,
it's just like, at least I know me in the gym. Like, I kind of zone out half the time, and I'll just, like,
you're glancing, it's not like you're actually
I'm, like,
staring
right at someone. I'm like, oh, for it.
That's the hard part about the gym. There's mirrors everywhere. There's people everywhere. So it's like, everywhere you look, you could be in danger.
Right. Here's what I think. I think there is a tiny section of girls who, like, wear super skimpy clothes to the gym and either whether or not they do it for attention, like they're wearing small clothes to the gym and they know it.
Right.
And then I think that there's also, this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion too, but you know how a lot of girls are like, well, I'm on my periods, like this is why I'm acting that way, or like I'm just super emotional right now because of like my hormones, like they blame like their hormones or like this or that for a lot of things because it's just in women's nature. Well, I would like to argue the opposite, like kind of the same thing for men. Like men are just naturally more like sexual creatures than women, I think they just have that strong desire for it, and it's something that you guys have to work with. And whether that's because of like your hormones or because like you're a dude or whatever, I'm like
hormones
yeah, I'm like, here's the thing is I'm like, yeah, like girls can like say all these things and like, well, I'm on my period, so it's an excuse. And it's like, okay, well, maybe a guy's like super horny that day, so that's his excuse. I'm like, so like, does that, you kind of get where I'm coming from?
No, I 100% see where you're coming from.
I feel like it's hard. Like, I can't even imagine like being a guy and dealing with you like what you guys go through. Like, I didn't even understand the extent of it until like I've had a lot of conversations with Nate, and I've like kind of started to understand like how like the male brain works. I'm like, it's hard out there to go to a gym and all these girls wearing leggings. Like, I wouldn't even think twice about it as a girl, but yeah, that probably would be like kind of hard. So I'm like, me personally, no, they shouldn't be staring and like coming up and making comments like about your body.
Right, yes.
But I'm like, if they're looking as you're walking past, like, okay, you're wearing leggings. Like, what do you want them to do? Like, you know? So that's probably going to be an unpopular opinion. I do think women have a responsibility, like, with the way that they dress. Okay. And they need to know that if they're wearing leggings, yeah, a guy might stare at them. Not because, like, he's awful or horrible or, like, perverted in his mind, but because he's a man and, like, they do their best to not do that. But, like, if you're walking past them, you know, like, it might happen whether they mean to or not. Does that make sense?
No, I also feel like they'd be just as offended or more offended. If you just totally ignored them, too.
Yeah, they'd be like, ah. So I'm like, either way, I'm like, you really can't please women, and I'm one of them. Like, you know, like, there's kind of a lot of things. Same thing with girls are like, never come up and, like, hit on me at the gym. I'm like, okay, I'm a girl, and I know for a fact that, like, every girl that gets offended if a guy comes up and talks to him, no, she actually secretly loves it. So I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's what I think. I mean, if you're doing it in a rude way or commenting about her body, like, no, she probably is annoyed. But if you, like, go up and do it in a respectful way or, like, when she's taking a break or something, I'm like, every girl that's secretly a confidence boost from, and it's going to make them feel good.
Right.
So I just think it's things like that, too, where I think women feel like they cannot take responsibility, or it's really easy to, like, blame it on the man. But I'm like, it's equal responsibility both ways. Like, you know,
right? I agree.
So I don't know. That's what I think.
Do you? So I've met Nate at Gracie's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Seems like a super cool dude.
Awesome.
He seems super cool.
You guys would love him.
Does he ever get like? Do you think he would get bugged if like guys were staring at you at the gym?
No, Nate is like the chillest person.
Cool.
Like. He, like even, like, coming down and hang out with you guys, he's like, oh, fun. Like, he wouldn't ever think twice about that or think it's weird. Like, Nate has always been the most chill person. Like, when we weren't dating yet, but when we, like, first started, like, talking, when we first met, I am a very jealous person.
Really?
And so, like, if I see a girl talking to him, I'm like, what? Like, I know it's a flaw, but I get so jealous so easy. But, like, him, like, when we first started meeting, I'd be like, well, like, this guy came and asked for my number, and I said no. Or, like, I had the opportunity to go on this date, and I turned it down. I was like, okay. And
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
Like, seriously, like, you're not mad about it? He's like, no. So it's to the extent where, this is a funny story about him. So we're literally in St. George with all my family, and it's like me and Nate and my aunt. And my aunt is like, Nate, I have to ask you something just because, like, I'm curious and I want to make sure. She's like, do you have a substance abuse problem? Straight up asked him that, and Nate's like, what? Like, and I was like, what the heck? And like, I was like, I just have to ask, like, I just have to make sure. He's like, are you asking like if I smoke weed all the time or something? Like, do I do drugs? She's like, yeah. She's like, you're just so chill. Like, I have to know. And he was like, no. He's like, I promise, like, I don't smoke weed, and I'm like not addicted to drugs. So like, he just is like the chillest person ever. Like, so go with the flow, would support me in anything that I wanted to do. Like. He's seriously the greatest. So yeah, he wouldn't.
That's awesome.
He wouldn't care. Like, I have people come talk to me and I'll be like, hey, like, come over here, like, save me or something or whatever. But he'll be like, no, like, good luck with that. Like, have fun. He just is, He's pretty chill.
That's a good quality. I really think so.
Yeah.
I've been very few relationships, but I've been in relationships where I'm I'm a jealous asshole.
Yeah, I am too.
So
I'm the worst.
But it's been the weirdest thing with Bracken. It's just a good sign. I don't get jealous at all anymore.
There's that trust there.
It's a great thing because it's that trust, right? So I think that's a good quality that Nate has.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have it. I do my best, but
it's a natural thing. But it's not a bad thing to be jealous either. So it's there's a line. There's a line
for sure. Yeah.
So with your career, like you said, your job's ending this week or next week or something.
Next week's my last week.
Is there a career path that you want to go down, or a dream job you want to get, or a job you're looking to get, or are you still kind of I don't know?
It's kind of scary because usually I'll have my next thing. I've had at least 1 or 2 jobs at a time since I was 15. I've never not worked. So this is the first time where I haven't had the next job lined up while I've quit. And I absolutely love my job right now. It has been so amazing. It is so fun. It just kind of gets to the point where you outgrow something. It's time to move on type of thing.
And what are you doing right now?
So I'm a bridal designer consultant at the Perfect Dress in the Bride Shop. So I basically just help girls all day long pick out their dress. It's a lot more complicated than it sounds, though, believe me.
No, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
I've loved it, but I'm just kind of looking for something because I do have my degree. So my degree's in communications, but ideally I want to stick more to the design creative field. So it's really important to me that I have some sort of passion behind the work that I do. So I've looked at a lot of jobs where I'm it just doesn't excite me. So I'm I could go that route, but I don't want to. So I am hoping to stay more in the design creative field. I don't know exactly what it's gonna be. So I'm kind of nervous about it, but I know something will line up because that's happened every time for me. So yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna kind of see. If I was talking about my dream job, fashion designing obviously would be my number one dream. I've done that a little bit with the job that I'm at now. So kind of taking that to the next step, hoping to start my own fashion companies or bridal lines or things like that would be a really big dream of mine. I don't know if right now is the perfect timing for that, but eventually I do want to be my own boss. I'm just kind of that personality where I like to be in charge. I like to be at the head of things, so I would love to just have my own businesses, design on my own, and be successful that way. So that's probably an ultimate goal career-wise that I hope to get towards.
What about a gym apparel brand? Would you ever start a
gym
apparel
I think it'd be awesome.
Cool.
I think it'd be super fun. I had one person reach out to me. He's awesome. He's starting his own little clothing line for gym clothes. And he was like, hey, can I send you some stuff when it launches? And I was like, yes, that's awesome. So I'm really excited about that. I hope that kind of goes through. But I would love to start my own gym brand one day, especially clothing bridal for more petite women. Okay. You'd be surprised at how hard it is to find clothes when you're 4'11". It's hard. I still get a lot of my clothes from kids sections, and it sucks. So I think and a lot of shoe sizes won't go down small enough to fit my feet because I got tiny feet. So I think it'd be nice to do it. I would be size inclusive to everyone, but I mean specifically targeting short people would be kind of nice. There's not a lot out there, but so yeah, I would definitely consider that.
That's cool. That's hard. I just get mad because I'm in between my shirts.
I
never know to get an extra large or a large.
Right.
But yeah, I think you might have a little worse.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. You'd be shocked at how hard it is. Yeah.
But does it ever have its benefits? For example,
if you have to crawl into a small place.
Ooh, I get claustrophobic, honestly.
Yeah. Airplanes,
yes. Airplanes and cars. I can sleep like nobody's business because I can just curl up and I'm fine. So that is a benefit. Traveling is not a big deal for me. I feel I can sleep anywhere. So now my height doesn't really bother me as much. Yeah. When I was younger, in high school and stuff.
Really?
It was really took a hit
you were self-conscious about it?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I didn't know that.
And I think a lot of it. This is stupid now.
I probably made fun of your height.
People did. I got made fun of a lot for my height. And like I said, it was a big stem of insecurity. And I think it's going to sound stupid saying it, but really in my brain, I was because I'm short, I'm no guy is ever going to take me seriously or think that I'm this beautiful woman. I'm just going to be a cute girl type of thing, you know?
Okay.
So I think that type of thing always, scared me that I'm no one's ever going to find me attractive in that way because I'm so short. No one's going to take me seriously. Shopping was always a huge thing. I would grow up and see these models and these girls wearing these clothes, and I was so excited to grow into them and wear them. Could never hit that point. Never got a growth spurt. Could never go shopping in the malls with my friends and have clothes fit me. So Like, people would make fun of me, and, like, I did my best to, like, oh, it's fine. But it actually was a source of insecurity for me when I was younger.
I guess I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Sorry if I ever made fun of you.
I don't know. I'm good now. Like I said, I'm a really loud personality to make up for. I'm a very loud person. And now, like, I mean, my husband's, like, I don't know, like 6'3", 6'3.5". He's a tall guy. So I'm, like, feel fine about it. He's tall, and I have hope for my future kids now. And
right.
Hopefully they get his genes, not mine. But yeah, so I'm good with it now. But being short does come with things that are hard that most people probably wouldn't think about. So
Okay, Creighton, I got a question for you.
Oh my gosh, when does Cooper ever ask me questions?
I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I don't know. I know what Kenzie's answer would be, I think, but
you don't know what my answer would be?
No, I don't know what yours would be.
Really? I'm like really curious because
I'm like, too.
No, it's kind of stupid. Would you rather be like 5'4" or like 7 foot? If you had to choose.
Well, there's too many variables. Like, can I be like am I skinny 7 foot?
You're same build as you are now. You're just same Creighton, same everything. You're just 5'4", 7 foot.
You'd be like a professional athlete.
That's the thing. Like, if I was like 7 foot with my build in comparison, dude, I'd be unstoppable. I'd be like the next Brian Shaw.
Yeah.
You think you'd be good at basketball?
No. I would not be good at basketball.
Right?
I'd be a pretty good football player, but I would not be a good basketball player. So I think, I think 7 foot.
7 foot?
Yeah, I'd do 7 foot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I don't know if I should say that or not. I feel like it would be harder to be extremely short than extremely tall if you were a guy. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
like,
I agree.
If I was a guy, I'd rather be
100%.
So like for you, like would you rather say your height or if you had jumped to like 6 foot, like a 6 foot tall girl?
I'd probably, in a weird way, I do feel like my height has kind of played on like who I am as a person. I feel like if I was super tall, I'd probably be a lot quieter, and almost I would have felt like I had to make myself smaller instead of making myself bigger. So I probably would stay short the way I am, because I think it's reversed for girls. I think it's easier to be like a shorter girl than it would to be a tall girl in some ways. Not in all ways. I think there's a lot of benefits, and I have some friends that are super tall, and I'm like, I cannot even imagine how that would feel. I would be a model if I were you. Like, you're so lucky. So I think there's hard things about no matter what height or build you are. So I probably would stay my height just because I do think it has had an effect on like who I am now.
I think that's a good thing. I think I'm starting to get more and more that way. Because I used to always think, dude, growing up, I was super insecure about being fat. Like, I was always the fat cousin.
That makes me sad.
I was always the fat cousin, the fat kid. But so it's like I always wanted to be skinny. But I'm like finally in life, like, dude, I'm so glad I'm not skinny.
Yeah,
like I'm so glad I am what I am. Like, I wouldn't change it for anything, you know what I mean?
That's a good place to be at.
So that's a good thing. I think more the older I get, the more I mature, the realize I'm like, dude, you have it made in the shade. Like, it's a good life.
Yeah.
You have a lot of gifts, and it's sometimes hard to find gifts.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that in your life? Like, you're like, dude, I don't think I have any gifts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some low points for sure where it's like, I suck at everything. It's like, I'm just average at everything. Like, I don't excel at anything. And that's a hard place to be. So I think you got to figure out what your talents and your gifts are and run with it no matter, like, how small you might think they are. Oh, everyone has them.
Yeah. Okay, Kenzie, you said that you listen to a lot of our podcasts.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know how I'm going to say this without being a jack.
No,
it's not a mean thing. It's just... On one of our podcasts, I think it was our solo podcast we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you had 2 solo ones.
Yeah, we've had 2 solo ones. Me and Brack had one.
Yeah, I'm like, it's gonna seem creepy. I did my work, like my.
No, it's okay. This is flattered. I'm flattered. Are you flattered?
I'm flattered. Yeah.
I've had a fun time.
No, it's been so fun. But anyway, I think the end of our last solo podcast, we said, we really want to have a pool party.
Oh yeah.
Does your grandmother still have that pool?
Oh, she does.
If you ever get bored in the summer,
let's do a pool party.
And you're looking to do a pool party, and you need help with it, like, just give us a call.
All right.
Like, I think it'd be super fun to get like a bunch of old friends
so
and new friends and just have a fun pool party.
Yeah.
This is not me inviting myself over to your grandmother's pool.
Oh, you can invite yourself anytime.
Or no, your grandma's Debbie, huh?
Yeah, Debbie.
I used to take swim lessons there.
Yep, I taught for a long time there.
Dude, I've done some sweet flips off of that diving board.
I don't know if you were there that one year. I don't know. It was probably junior high, maybe like 9th grade, where we did that pool party there. I don't know if you were there or not, but we did like this I don't even know what it's called. Like, we had people standing all around the pool, and we had like the basketball.
No,
and,
I was there.
Were you there?
Yes,
I think I still have the video
Do you
somewhere
really?
of that. Yeah, where we did that like chain reaction thing.
We threw it to the balcony.
Yep.
Someone threw it down and went off the slide.
Maybe it was sophomore year. I don't know when it was.
It might have. I don't even know.
It was a long time ago. But that would be fun to do like a big
ago.
pool party reunion. I would be down. Fun. Yeah, I honestly haven't had. Like, I've had very minimal connection with very few people since high school.
That's what I was going to ask.
Mm-hmm. Like, very minimal. So, this is, like, one of the biggest things I've done since high school. Really? So, that would be...
So,
I think I probably could do it.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So, you just went, like, total MIA
basically,
since you graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved, like, right when I graduated, and I've lived in Salt Lake ever since. So, I've had very little communication with the only people, really, Cecily, Gracie, Sage, a little bit.
A little bit. Well, yeah, Cooper's the only one. I mean, I talk to, like, the same thing with me. I talk a little bit to Jace, Tom, and Zeke.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the only person I talk to on a regular basis is Cooper. And it's like, it's every day.
Yeah, you guys seem tight. That's so fun.
My marriage includes Cooper most of the time.
Yeah.
And my bracky loves Cooper probably more than me most days.
Awesome.
So.
I'm nicer.
He is nicer.
No,
so.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. That's not true.
Probably depends. Depends on the day.
It depends on the day. But no, how long have we been going? I'm going to look.
Yeah.
Because it's been fun.
I think it's been like an hour.
Has it?
I think so.
It's been literally an hour.
Exactly an hour. Look at that timing.
Kenzie, is there anything else you want to talk about? Are you going to drive back up to Salt Lake tonight?
Probably. I don't know. I could stay always at my parents' or my sister's. Right. I haven't really planned yet, but... Because
we don't want to keep you late, because that's a long
good.
drive. I get that drive sucks.
You're good. I honestly don't come home as much as I should, and I don't come down here as much as I should. Like I said, once I kind of moved out, I don't come around, as much as I'd like to, but we drive to, like, his parents' house a lot, so we're always either driving an hour north or an hour south, so I don't...
Oh, where's he from?
I don't mind it. North Ogden.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so I, like, literally, until I moved to Salt Lake, I didn't know, like, anywhere north that existed past Salt Lake. It was just Salt Lake, and that was the end. So it's, like, opened up a whole new world, and I honestly love it up there.
Would you settle down up there?
I probably would. I don't think I would ever move back to Salem.
In Ogden or, around Ogden?
We actually like Ogden.
Okay.
It has a bad stigma around it, but Ogden, it's kind of a little hidden gem. It really is. But North Ogden's even better. It's kind of like the Salem... Like, North Ogden's kind of like Salem in a way, and then, like, Ogden's like the Provo or whatever.
Okay.
So, North Ogden, they kind of live, his parents just moved and built a house, and they're building a pool, and
oh, cool.
all this fun stuff that they live the mountain, and we do a lot of skiing and a lot of boating, so they've got a lake 20 minutes away and the mountain like 20 minutes away. So,
that's awesome.
Because of, like, all of our hobbies are right there, I would definitely, like, consider... Like,
so is there like a dream place you'd want to move to, or do you want to stay in Utah, or
that's changed a lot. I have like this split personality where it's like I want to be a fashion designer in New York and live there, but then I also just want a big ranch in Wyoming or Montana, and that's what I want in life. So I've kind of have this like big split. Like, realistically,
I feel like that's
I
every
could see
Hallmark
us
movie.
Yeah, honestly. I could see us moving to, like, honestly, maybe like Montana or Wyoming eventually, and just get a bunch of land and do that type of thing.
Christmas tree farm.
I don't know what we would do out there, but that's definitely Nate's dream. But yeah, so I would say we've also talked about maybe moving to, like, Hawaii or something once Nate graduates. I would like to travel around a little bit and live a few different places before we settle down, but also, like, I'm so excited to, like, be a mom, and, like, I need to, like, not be as excited as I am, but I think it's going to be so fun then, but I also kind of want to be a little more settled down by the time, we want to, like, enter that stage of our life too. So I don't know, like, I'm open. I don't really want to be stuck in one place. That's why I'm, like, pretty ready to, like, move out of Salt Lake and move on to the next thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That
makes sense. I know, we just, like I said, me and Bracken just got back from going to see Sailor's Baby.
Yeah.
I just, like, want to be a dad.
You're like, oh, the baby, like, hungry. Like, it's a whole thing. And I thought I would never get that. And I'm like, I don't want kids for forever. Yeah. Like, ever since I got married, I'm like, that it just feels like, because, I mean, it is right. Like, it should happen. You should have kids. I'm like, I just, seriously, I'm so excited for it.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. It's, going to be hard but fun.
Yeah. What about you? Was there any dream vacation that you would want to do?
Ooh, I'm actually going on one of my dream vacations in like a week or two.
What?
I'm going to Greece, and I'm actually going with Gracie and like Annika and who else is going? I think Sarah Black and like a lot of those like Maple Mountain girls are all going, but it's through Annika's mom, Tara, she does like these fitness retreats.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to Greece, and that's been on like my bucket list. I'm leaving Nate home. I'm going on that, and I'm so excited about that. I love to travel.
So you're going to do a fitness retreat in Greece?
Yeah.
You're going to kick everyone's trash.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, it's going to be like a bunch of hiking and stuff, and like I said, I don't do very good on the cardio. So if it's like all that stuff, I'm going to get my butt kicked. I'm more of like the weightlifting. But another one that me and Nate have is skiing in Japan. We really want to do a ski trip in Japan. It would be awesome. Bali, we were gonna maybe go to Bali this year, but then I'm doing this trip instead. So Bali's another one. I kind of have like a really big, I mean everyone kind of does, like love for travel. My dad's the same way. My parents have been to like Hawaii this year in like 3 or 4 or 5 whatever months we're into this year. My parents have gone to like Fiji and Hawaii and this and that. Where did they just get back from? I can't even keep track, but they just got back from a vacation.
Nice.
So we all just love to travel. Where would you guys pick? What's your dream vacations?
Mine are real different.
So I have like
Are they hunting ones?
I have hunting places and then like vacation places.
Yeah, because I just listened to the podcast about all the hunting, and I know very little about hunting, so it's very interesting.
Oh, you just listened to today's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you post it today? I listened on the drive down.
Yeah.
I listened to it on the drive down, but I like know very little about it, so I was like fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And I was like, hunting in South Africa, like
That's a
wow.
whole different thing. Like,
Yeah. So like hunting wise, I'd want to go to Tanzania in Africa. And they have like a 21-day safari you could do. Super
so what
cool.
do you hunt?
Everything. If you did that one, you'd be like, it's like a ton of money, but like you hunt everything that they have there.
And I have another question about that follow up. Maybe this is a dumb question. Like I said, I know very little about hunting, and I thought they'd maybe get into it, but what do you do with all of the animals you catch? Is that a dumb question?
It almost was a really, really good question.
Until you said cat.
all of it you hunt. Like, just leave the last part off. Okay. All the animals that you hunt?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So, Africa, for example, or just wherever, or are you talking like Africa specifically?
I'm everywhere.
So
like, I truly don't know.
Africa, it's really different. So, like, obviously we don't bring any of the meat back because then that could go bad.
Because, you're traveling.
But over there, like, a lot of countries, they actually, like, the natives and stuff aren't even allowed to hunt.
Oh.
So, like, because of the money it brings in from, like, foreigners coming in to hunt. So, a lot of the PHs, or just professional hunters and guides and stuff there, they have outfits that are super good. Like, they employ sometimes a couple hundred people.
That's awesome.
And then all the meat all the animals you kill, all the meat they donate to, like, the villages and stuff, so it helps feed people. And then, like, the horns or heads and capes, like, ship them back over. You either get them mounted or just whatever.
Cool.
See, that's one thing I think, like we were talking about, a lot of people aren't uneducated like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, especially hunting in Africa. Because a lot of that meat does go to, like,
because I've heard that.
People.
I knew a little bit about that and how it does, like, feed, like, the natives or the locals there, which is awesome.
Yeah, and so I think it's a cool thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to your question.
Yeah,
I do that.
Sorry, it's a little tangent.
I do that
that's
hunting.
a good question,
I do that for hunting, and then just vacation-wise. I went to Hawaii when I was younger, and that was super cool.
Hawaii's great.
I just want to go somewhere with big...
You lived in Samoa, too.
I did live in Samoa. I don't really remember that, because I was, like, really young.
Yeah.
I just want to go somewhere with big waves.
Yeah.
Like,
do you like to surf?
No.
Oh,
brother.
Or I probably would, but that was, like, the funnest thing I've ever done. Is one day in Hawaii, it was like this Tunnels Beach.
Yeah.
Beach. Have you been there?
I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got like really big waves.
Yeah.
Or at least they had big waves when I was there.
Yeah, they do.
I just like had a little like bodyboard or whatever.
Yeah,
and just
so
like
fun.
got wrecked by waves for like all day, and I thought it was the funnest thing ever.
I relate to that so much. Like I've done that same thing, and it is seriously so fun.
Yeah.
Brother.
Just like letting waves hit you for all day.
Yeah. I know like Costa Rica has some.
So you like Costa Rica?
You guys know who has the biggest waves in the world?
Where? Portugal?
It is Portugal.
I've watched like a video about, and I think it was in Portugal. I've watched a video about that one surfer guy that like surfed those huge waves.
Yeah, it's called Nazaré, and they're
I've seen the documentary about it. It's unreal.
So come to Portugal. Me and Bracken are going back to Portugal in October.
That's fun.
I'm trying to get him to go. Just come with us, man. Well, you can go see the waves. It won't
There
be
you
in
go.
season, but
dude, I'd die. Those waves would kill me though.
Yeah, no, they're crazy. You have to get they're nuts.
Yeah.
Like you see them. I've only seen them once, but like they literally they don't look real.
No.
It just looks like a mountain.
That's terrifying.
Moving in water. It's insane.
Is that? So. Would you say have you been back there since your mission?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I went back last year.
Fun.
Yeah, with my family.
Fun.
Like, I've really like my dream vacation. Like I just love Europe.
Europe's
love Europe. Just the history of Europe, like the feeling and just the nostalgia of Europe. Like I just eat it up. Yeah. But so honestly, I want to go back to. I like going back to Portugal like every year. It's like my second home. I love it there.
That's so fun.
I love Portugal, but I mean I'm super biased towards it. But it's a super.
I'd love to go there.
The hidden gem of Europe. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like for I mean, people don't know a lot of things about Portugal, but it has the most castles per capita.
Oh, I didn't know
than any
that.
other country in the world.
Yeah, I would love to visit.
But it's a cool place.
So they have beef with like what is it? I think Scotland says they do though.
Scotland says. I mean, that's a thing.
They
Scotland
got beef.
Says they do.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah, Ben did. I went to Europe for my first time last year, almost like exactly a year ago, and it had been a dream of mine. But we did Scotland.
Yes.
London. And like other parts of England, and then a few places in France, mostly Paris. And if I went back, I wouldn't go to Paris again.
Yeah. Paris is kind of
so glad I went. I hated it like the first 3 days. I was there for like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I hated it first 3 days, but then once you like accept it for what it is and really like throw yourself into the culture, I loved it.
People are really like thrown by Paris.
Yeah.
They're kind of like this. Is not
and I kind of expected that, but we were staying in like a really bad spot, and like there was like a lot of factors. By the end of it, I seriously did love it, but there's so many other parts of like Europe and even just France that I'd love to visit. But I'm gonna for sure add Portugal to the list.
I need to give Europe a good chance because the only two places I've been to the Paris airport.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. Like
awful.
All the French people are just mean.
They are mean.
And I hate them. And then I've been to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Which was just wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a
no.
very good
You
place.
you gotta see different parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go to Portugal and Spain.
Yeah.
Or Greece and Italy would both be cool.
Yeah,
I would love to go to Greece.
Just kidding. I've been to Turkey. Turkey's
cool though.
Turkey's super cool.
Quite a bit.
It's kind of the same as Greece, like knockoff Greece.
Right.
Because it's like they're super close.
Right. They have kind of similar.
Like you could see where I went. One of the places I went in Turkey, like you could see some Greek islands. And
it's
stuff.
crazy how like close everything is in Europe and how accessible. Like you can hop on a train and be in the next country. It's like, so cool.
You can hop on a train, or you can literally hop like on a country, or sorry, of course you're gonna be in a country. Good. But you can hop on a plane and go to a different country. It's $50.
So cool.
It's so cheap to fly and travel throughout Europe. But I made it a point on my mission to ask all my European people I taught or met on my mission, like, okay, what's your favorite country to visit in Europe? Because like if you're gonna get this right, I wanted to know from Europeans. I didn't want to know from Americans, right? And I could, it was either Switzerland or Croatia.
Oh yeah.
They would always say Switzerland or Croatia.
Cool.
They love Switzerland and Croatia, so I really want to go to Croatia. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people still go to Switzerland that I hear, but I've never heard of anyone that's gone to Croatia.
Yeah, you should go.
So I want to go to Croatia.
And I want to go ski in Switzerland.
Yeah. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they're going same like in a week or two. Middle of April, they're going to Switzerland and skiing and hitting a few other different places. But I'm like, it's so cool. But yeah, would you pick skiing in Switzerland or skiing like in Japan? What would you pick?
I think I'd do Switzerland.
You would?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hard. By far Switzerland.
You're going for, depends on what the goal is. Yeah,
I think Japan.
Japan has better skiing, if that's what you're going for, but Switzerland just in general would be so cool to go.
Does Japan have better skiing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have some of the best skiing in the world.
I feel like Switzerland, skiing in Europe is almost to the point where it's commercialized as amazing, but you would, and maybe this is wrong, but just from what I've read, you would have just as good, skiing here. Right. But yeah, so Japan would be cool.
I think Utah's the best place in the world.
Yeah, Utah's so fun. It's got some good resorts.
The one year we don't get a ski pass. We have a year like this. No, we always get.
And it's the 1 year that has all the snow.
Stupidest
it's been
thing
a good year.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
Yeah, it's been so fun.
We literally talked about it for so long. We're like, should we get it? And we're like, no. We'll call it, we work weekends a lot. So we won't do it.
Because I work every Saturday and I've made it work. I've probably gone maybe 20 days. Nate's been at least 30 plus.
Really?
Oh yeah, all the time. And he's the best skier that I know.
Really?
But yeah, we just bought our passes for next year, and it's hard because where we go, it's so expensive. I'm like, we can't afford that. That's stupid. But it's we know we're gonna regret it. I would honestly hate the winter if I didn't ski, but it's we love it. So.
What resort do you go to?
Powder Mountain. If anyone asks, it's horrible. Don't go there. It sucks.
Okay, we'll tell everyone it's the worst.
It's the worst.
We'll keep telling people to go to Sundance.
Yeah. No, go to Sundance. I can't remember the last time I've been to Sundance. But that's where I learned. I honestly didn't even really get a passion or a love for skiing until after I graduated. Like, it started, like, I skied a little bit, like, I started, like, 6th grade. I skied, like, a little 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th, 12th, until, like, the end of high school. But, like, my love for it honestly kind of started after.
You think it might have been because of Nate?
Yeah, for sure.
Really? That's awesome.
So I was like, shoot, like, I've got to keep up with him. Like, I better get good real fast, or, like, he's going to drop me. Because Nate, like, he loves skiing more than he loves me, and it's okay. I respect it. Like, it's his... he loves it. So it's so fun. But so it's worth it. Buy the pass.
Cool.
For sure.
Do you have anything else to say? Yeah,
No.
Kenzie, do you have anything to say? Is there like a message like that you live by that you want to share to everyone?
Kind of changes. At the spot that I'm at in my life, my biggest message would be to like kind of stand up. It's so cliche, but you got to stand up for the person that you are.
Okay.
And I think just kind of truly like live every day like it's your last, because you just never know. So I think it's just so important to live your life to the very fullest, even if maybe it doesn't make the most sense. Right. And that way you're not going to have regrets. So that's probably
awesome.
what I would say.
Okay, guys, you heard it here. This has been Kenzie Crittenden.
Close enough. Crittenden. With the Utah accent, Crittenden.
And help her get to 2,000 followers.
Help me get to 2,000.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
That's not the biggest goal. That's just cool.
All right, Ken. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.
Fun podcast. Jeez, oh, Pisa, that was awesome.
Goes by fast. I could seriously talk all night, but I am a big chatter.